enough ambition to deep-fry America. In the affluent world of 1950s Jamaica estates, energy and drive were more than just predictors of success. They were means to squeeze opportunity for its sweet juice. For young Donald Trump and his peers, that domain was a playground where the rewards of hard-won success were always within easy reach. Donald's friend Mark and he reveled with their resourcefulness, yet it was clear that behind their cool confidence lay a deep undercurrent of system-shocking drive, not just for accumulation, but for carving out their place in a society or their territory in the nature that measured success in terms of both material wealth and social influence among their tribal peers, often done in a roundabout way or with such a level of multi-layered indirection as to generate enough propulsion to light up the appearance of advanced sophistication to the rest of the people. Wealth, i.e., wealth, meaning whatever provides a person's strength in the world, in this context, was a tool, one that provided them the chance to expand, improve, and have a say in their lives, on a larger stage. In this milieu or social circle, the Trump household stood as a representation of achievement, yet it also illustrated the burdens that accompany success or path breaking in one's life. Donald's brother Freddie, for instance, appeared to be trapped in the tension between the vast opportunities wealth provided and the expectations placed upon him. In a home where luxury cars and private staff were the expectation, there were seemingly subtle, on rare occasions near invisible, pressures to live up to the standards set by his father's path breaking for the entire family. Freddie's reluctance to treat his younger brother or his strained interactions with his family revealed something about the transactional setting of respect and resourcefulness. The notion of paying your dues was not just about work, it was about sustaining success, a position or status. And in that pursuit, the simple notion of familial unity often appeared to take a backseat to the greater ambition of advancing one's position in the social, as well as economic hierarchies, which can be microly present in a family unit. Fred Trump, Donald's father, was a man whose sense of drive was obvious. However, in his fathering of his children, it became clear that his motivations were driven by the same sense of competition and excellence that shaped his business dealings. For him, the rules of family, like those of business, were governed by an unspoken code of performance. Take his relationship with money. When Freddie gave a modest gift at a bar mitzvah, it was less about the gift itself and more about demonstrating that in the Trump family, even small acts carried the weight of expectation. Fred's insistence on holding Freddie to a verbal agreement about money, despite the circumstances, was less about the dollar amount and more about reinforcing a universality where every transaction had meaning. The underlying message was clear. Existing, like business, was a matter of maintaining one's position and never failing to honor the terms of an agreement, no matter how small. This mentality spoke to the broader ethos of competition that ran through the Trump family's approach to both recreation and careerism. For Freddie, the pressure to live up to his father's expectations was in perpetuity, even as he sought a more reckless existence. The parents' generosity that afforded him the privilege of attending St. Paul's School, with its authoritative architecture and storied history, was not without its gravitas or seriousness. Private schools and exclusive universities were launching pads, yes, yet they were also arenas where Freddie's social standing, and by extension, his ability to thrive, was often as much about how well he navigated the social climate as it was about sole academic achievement. The environment required extensive multivariate considerations towards thriving in, and that meant blending his family's support with his own burgeoning individualism or charisma, a tool that he wielded with remarkable liberality. But even with all the advantages that came with wealth, Freddie Trump's life was no simple trajectory to success. He failed with academia, faced rejection from the recognized University of Pennsylvania, and was reminded, often bluntly, that liberal sweetness or personal charm could not overcome the cold calculus of business acumen and familial duty. His charisma, while valued leisurely, was not enough to fulfill the roles that his father had expected of his son. Success, it appeared, was not just about charisma charm, it was about drive, that's being demanding about continually moving forward or climbing, even prima facie or seemingly picayune about this, an unrelenting will to succeed in the clairvoyantly cutthroat world of careerism and commerce, where knowledge and intellectual status were reduced to real terms, no cloudy pretensions, as being a means to a greater lot or position in life, resources, authority or say, and being considered. It was only at Lehigh University that Freddie could embrace the full scope of his resourcefulness. There, his flair for the theatrical was less a hindrance than it had been in the boardrooms of academia. His charm and social prowess allowed him to carve out a niche among his peers, positioning himself as a leader in the exclusive circles of fraternity life. His material possessions, from sport jackets to a personal television, underscored the resourcefulness of his upbringing, but it was his ability to create social situations and navigate the hidden corridors of status, that's being considerable, which defined his breakthroughs or success. Wealth, for Freddie, was not simply a means to acquire more wealth, it was the currency with which to buy influence, trust, and opportunity access. A vehicle or asset wasn't just a vehicle or asset, it was a key to belonging, to becoming part of the club, community or tribe which represented a segment of burning ambition, grounded. Yet even in his carefree exploits, whether they were piloting planes or taking in the summer sweetness of the Bahamas, Freddie could not avoid the lessons that his resourcefulness had taught him. Opportunity access, drive, and risk functional discomfort were all necessary but insufficient by itself. That's elements of the same synergistic equation. His reckless abandon in the sky, his indulgence in fleeting decadence, and his chasing for excitement or petty amusements, spoke to a resourceful one who allowed this to seep into his mental faculty and output, arrogance. Arrogance which brought consequences or setbacks, though nearly invisible at the time, were ruinous. The resourcefulness of wealth access, while providing a sense of invulnerability or seeming invincibility, also came with the knowledge that one could afford the competency of taking risks others could not. Even in the more mundane aspects of his experience, working in his father's construction enterprise during the summer, Freddie's experience was shaped by the duality of his resourcefulness. While he was cushioned from the brutal realities of manual labor by his family's position, he could not entirely evade the contradictions that accompanied his own position. Fred Trump's, i.e., Freddie's father, relentless drive for cost saving, even at the expense of enhanced safety, revealed a pragmatic yet troubling ethos, a persona that efficiency and profit were priority, even when the consequences were human sacrifice. Climbing often is and often has been cutthroat. Thus, Fred Trump's vision of the world was not about cultivating gentleness or nurturing love. It was about maintaining say in the world's affairs, about ensuring that every act was cared for and considered, every decision carried out with exactness and skilled measure. In this environment, the pursuit of competence and strengthening one's position, and by generally natural extension, their kin's position or sometimes even a community's position, was not merely a matter of personal aggrandizement and cartoonish self-worship. It was a matter of contribution as a presence in the world, of proving that one's ability to secure the road for growth, or secure the access to expansion, was not just a matter of chance, but of will near infinite, near timeless. In an environment where wealth opened doors, or in other words, access created even more access, it was not enough simply to enter. One had to overpower the room, clarify one's place, and never trip. For the Trumps, it was this blunt drive, this searing fire to expand one's intense presence and its extensions, i.e., sometimes family, sometimes community, and among other things, to ensure, to make more probable, one's future. That was the true measure of success and a breakthrough.
Make me hot.
By liking and subscribing.